Calaroga Shark Media.
Boy, March is flying by. Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, a daily briefing on stand-up comedy, comedians in the comedy industry. A sentence you'd think I could remember after saying it every day for 2 months and 20 days, but I can't, but the algorithms love it. The guys at the Are You Garbage podcast, they're taping a live version of their podcast in Tampa, Florida today and tomorrow. So that would be 2 versions, unless they're going to edit it together. Don't do that. In case you're not familiar, Are You Garbage is where your favorite comedians find out if the comedian grew up classy or if they're a big old piece of trash. Now, I love this. Questions the host asks the guests resemble the following questions. So none of us are saying these are the actual questions. The questions resemble these totally hypothetical questions, which could be sort of like, but not exactly. Has anyone in your family ever represented themselves in court? Have you ever owned a snake, lizard, or bird? Anyone in your family have an above-ground pool? Have you ever given yourself a haircut? I think we all did during the pandemic. I grew it out. At one point, I had to grab the razor. Ever sat through a timeshare pitch? I have. Have you been on a cruise in the last 365 days? Last 365? No, I did go to Antarctica about 465 days ago. Does that count? Now, why are they taping in Florida? I think we know, guys. You don't have to answer this question. Tampa has some of the best comedy crowds around. They can be a little rough and tumble, but it's the right mix of blue-collar, salt of the earth, and trash all mixed into one, which makes it perfect for the AYG live shows. Now, these guys, this is amazing. Like, I see them, they're regularly top podcast charts, but I didn't know this until I started reading you the podcast. Their Patreon has 22,000 subscribers. Okay, nice big number. Bringing in an estimated $130,000 a month. Wow. Multiply that by 12 and then split it by 2 and pay your manager and taxes and stuff. But wow. Guests on the pod have included Shane Gillis, Leanne Morgan, Nate Bargatze, Tom Segura, Tim Dillon, Jim Gaffigan, and Bert Kreischer, whose name seems to show up in every single story lately. HBO announced a special with Julio Torres. Now, I need you to pay attention, okay? Pay attention. I'm going to play you the trailer. I need you to pay attention. What are we paying attention to, Johnny Mac? You are paying attention to the laughs on this one. I cannot believe this got handed in. I personally believe, no proof, just an opinion, someone grabbed the CD with fake laugh track cut 3 and just spliced it onto this trailer a million times. I can't believe it. Listen to this, pay attention to the laugh, and you tell me that's not a fake laugh. This is awful.
When I say that something is a color, I don't mean that literally. Like if I say, purple is the color of mystery, like objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Purple, it's different than lilac. Lilac is being a mom. Purple is being a stepmother.
Hurry, you have to move on.
Anyway, navy blue is the color of law and order. It's the color of airports. It's the airport's way of saying, whatever your deal is, not here. And red is rage. Now, have you ever met someone who is so red, but they are squeezed in a navy blue packaging? That's a real housewife. I am obviously creating a rubric for young people to see the world using colors. Beige is what millennials have become. It's scared, but it's gonna try. Black is what you don't know. White is what you do know. That is why doctors wear white, because it's their way of saying, I know. Fuchsia is, no one's writing anything down. In the event that your favorite color is mentioned, please celebrate quietly to yourself.
Horrible production aside, Color Theories will premiere 1 week from tonight at 8 East and West on HBO Max, whatever we're calling it today. You know that thing where you find John Oliver and the Dragon shows? That one. Now, I will describe this as quirky, much like Chris Fleming, much like Sarah Sherman. Is the Friday night HBO slot where we're putting the quirky comedy? It appears so. Coming off an off-Broadway run with the show, Julio Torres Color Theories offers a guide to understanding the world through his playful interpretation of colors. Horrible production aside, I liked the underlying material. I just don't know why somebody added laugh track number 3 50 times. Taking the stage in New York City as an expert on the inherent traits of particular colors, the comedian explores the nuances of rule-based navy blue to the rage of red through observations from his life and culture at large, blending stand-up with other media. The special invites us to see the people, places, and things around us through Julio's kaleidoscopic eyes. Is it kaleidoscopic or kaleidoscopic? It's kaleidoscopic, isn't it? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast group. Kaleidoscopic. Who's the guy that corrected me about the fish? Fish guy, let me know how you say that. Is it kaleidoscopic? I don't know. On your television in the United Kingdom tomorrow, it's Saturday Night Live, UK. Your guest host is Tina Fey. They put out a trailer. I like the trailer a lot. In the trailer, Tina Fey is dressed as Mary Poppins, and believe you me, I wouldn't have said this 10 minutes ago. Tina Fey makes a fantastic Mary Poppins. Like, perfect. Looks great. And her fake accent that you're about to hear, better than what Dick Van Dyke did. Anybody want to put on a production of Mary Poppins starring Tina Fey? You'll watch. Anyway, I like this trailer a lot. It's a little lengthy. I'm going to let it run, but here's Tina Fey promoting SNL UK.
So, this is it, guys. The countdown to Saturday Night Live UK.
Now we just need to figure out a way to let everyone know the first live show is on Sky One at 10 p.m. on Saturday, 21st of March.
And can also be streamed on Now TV if you're too busy getting laid. How can we possibly communicate that to people?
We'll just find a way to pop it in.
Did someone say Poppins?
She's real.
Hey, Tina Fey. Okay.
Easy now.
Gather round, children. Nanny is here with everything you need for a practically perfect... You know what? I'm going to drop the voice. So, yeah. I've got everything you need for your first ever SNL UK. Got some of those? Oh, yeah, sure. Wigs make the character. Okay. Ooh, that's nice.
Whoa.
Oh, crown, in case you guys want to do royal stuff. Oh, a really long shoe. That could be funny. Oh, I've got your lunch, Jack. Eel pie with extra eel.
Oh, Tina, thank you so much.
Epstein files?
Oh, that's us.
Oh, we're not in them, we're just going to do jokes about them.
Hey, Tina, we love that you're here, but we're just trying to figure out how to promote the show.
Oh, no, of course. Why do you think I brought this?
I'm Tina Fey and I'm hosting SNL UK this week. Why? Because I thought it would get me dual citizenship. It did not.
Hang on. Is that why you asked us all to marry you?
Winch me up, boys. It really hurts my crotch. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, children.
Bye, Tina Fey.
Watch your head.
Now, in that trailer, they were trying to get people in the UK to watch it. You're more likely listening in the United States. Should we look up the stats? I could tell you. I like stats. Let's see. Let's do last 30 days geolocation. There's a 56% chance you're listening to me in the United States. There's a 9.5% chance you're listening in Australia. Australians, say hi. I want to hear from you guys. 8.5% of you are from Canada and probably named Mike. And there are 8% of you in the UK. So this entire story you've been doing for 4 minutes now, John, is targeted at 8% of the audience. No, my friends. People in the United States can also watch this. SNL UK will be on Peacock starting on Sunday. Say, Mark Norman told Fox News, the social media algorithm is ruining everything. Mark said people are seeing two completely different realities. So I could tell people are sitting in the audience like, what is he? Is he right? Is he left? What's going on here? I can't laugh because I don't know where he's at. And I think that's horrible for comedy. When I was a teenager, they'd go straight or gay. But now it's right or left. And I like to keep them both in the dark. We're told by Fox News to reassure his audience that he's on their side. Mark Norman issues a disclaimer between bits at the start of his special. That disclaimer says, I should warn you guys, I will say some horrific stuff up here, but it's all jokes, just fun. Norman told Fox News Digital, people can get triggered by the very mention of a subject before it's even clear where a joke is headed. So I wish people would just listen, and I have to give them the disclaimer, like I'm going to talk about these triggering things, but it's all above board. It's all silly. It's always humor. Mark continued. I hate that everything's political, and it's not like it used to be. Political talk used to be boring and for nerds. Hey. No. Johnny Mac produced a lot of political talk radio in the 90s. It was not boring, and I was not a nerd. I might be a nerd now, but it was not boring, and I was not a nerd. It was a lot of fun. Mark Norman said, there's some guy like, can you believe what's going on in Kosovo? And you're like, shut up, you dork. We're trying to have a drink. But now it's front and center. It's such a big part of the culture. So I just want to be a comedian, I don't want to be a pundit, but I do feel like if you pick a side, your career goes better. Tim Dillon? Oh, no, he didn't say Tim Dillon. I misread that. Sorry. Andrew Schultz? No, it doesn't say Andrew Schultz either. Sorry, my script jumped. I'm trying to read here, and I was scrolling down, and I thought it said Andrew Schultz. It doesn't. That was just, ignore all that. Some other things he talked about, late night TV. Late nights aren't what they used to be. No offense. He doesn't like predictable jokes. He says, I think what bothers me from a comedian standpoint is they're all telling the same joke. It's like the same Trump jokes over and over. I don't care if you bash Trump, but be original. So I think that late night, maybe another reason it's dying, no offense, boy, a lot of no offense here, is because people want that authentic experience. I think now crowd work clip, just calling a fat guy does way more views than a Fallon clip. Sadly, the world has flipped on that. 180, completely. Norman talked about his podcasts, which are just entertainment. He says, I don't want to be saving the world. I don't want to be an activist. I don't want to give tips on comedy or a comedy lecture. It's just full of jokes, what's on the news, what's going on in the world, and just silliness and levity. Keep it light. Amen, brother. Oh, we are long here. Time-wise, I want to bump this one, but I know where I'm heading on comedy stock market, so I kind of have to do this one. The New York Times. Did you hear me? I said the New York Times, the Times of New York. The New York Times has an article titled, Who Designed Chris Fleming's Purple Bodysuit? We are told Chris Fleming's purple jumpsuit with its removable sleeves is made from a high-end scuba fabric that not only stretches, but is also durable enough to be put in a washing machine. When the comedian Chris Fleming, I like how they says when the comedian Chris Fleming and not when comedian Chris Fleming or when Chris Fleming, when the comedian Chris Fleming, interesting, first met with the designer and stylist Anthony Sartino, he brought a couple reference photos. Patrick Swayze, the Mouse King from the Nutcracker, a feather-swathed Elton John, and Michael Flatley from Riverdance. Mr. Sartino's reaction? He said, oh, no, that's not what I had in mind at all. Fleming said, I kind of have a rule about no jumpsuits, but Sartino persisted. Sartino explained, I like to do my research. He's stumbling all over, he's running, and I'm thinking, okay, 4-way stretch jumpsuit. The jumpsuit is fitted through the body with a wide band at the waist, like a discreet cummerbund and a high collar. There are glittery embellishments at the small of the back and on the cuffs of the sleeves, which zip off at the shoulder. The removable sleeves allow Mr. Fleming to perform what he refers to as a prude's burlesque, while also preventing him from overheating on stage. The color, an eggplant purple, is also intentional. It stands out against the crimson red of the curtains behind Mr. Fleming at the Cadillac Palace Theater, where the special was taped. Purple also evokes the musician Prince, and for good reason. From 2003 to 2013, Sartino worked with Prince, helping to create Prince's suit for the Super Bowl halftime in 2007. In fact, it was all that prompted Chris Fleming, Mr. Fleming, this is the Times of New York again, Mr. Fleming, who describes himself as a massive Prince fan, to reach out to the designer via Instagram DM. Mr. Fleming said, the way Prince wears clothes is just astonishing. He described Prince's look as being quintessentially stadium rock, but also something you could see him sitting cross-legged on a chaise lounge wearing. Oh, we are going so long here, but I have to do this. There's more. By the way, you know how all week I've been on my soapbox about everybody's an insider? Right? Nikki Glaser, Robbie Hoffman. You would think Robbie Hoffman's an outsider. No, not at all. Robbie Hoffman's at the Vanity Fair Oscars party. Well, apparently, I just want to remind you right now, I'm reading you from an article in the New York Times about Chris Fleming's design, and we're not done yet. Chris Fleming, insider. Everybody's an insider. No one's an outsider. The New York Times tells us, no matter where Mr. Fleming is, Mr. Sartino makes sure the attire matches the situation. For Mr. Fleming's headlining performance at Carnegie Hall, Sartino designed what Fleming referred to as bird armor, a black feathery bolero that sat over a crispy tailored white shirt, based on the photo of Elton John that Mr. Fleming showed him during that first meeting. Fleming said, honestly, you walk out there and you have the same feeling of unease that you feel at a really wealthy person's holiday party. And Tony knew that. I was thinking I was going to take that bird armor off, but I needed the whole time to make it through that gladiator fight of performing at Carnegie Hall. Again, let me ask you, have you ever been to a really wealthy person's holiday party? I'm thinking about it. A really wealthy person's holiday party. I don't think I have been. The only comp that comes to mind is I've been to Joan Rivers' apartment on Fifth Avenue. That was pretty nice. Joan made some iced tea for me. I found myself in Las Vegas one year at a porn stars party, which that's a whole story in itself. And the party, A lot more boring than you'd think. Not that I was looking for excitement, but, if you're like, oh, was there all like sex and drugs and booze? No, it was just people standing around like any other party. In case you're a newer listener, I live clean, so I wasn't looking for sex or drugs or booze. I'll have a beer, maybe two at trivia. That's about it. Johnny Mac lives clean. I digress. How long is this article? Yeah, I'm kind of done with this, but I can't wrap up with me just going, how long is this article? And then there's a break. So I got to give one more quote. Chris Fleming said, I feel like I'm stepping into something and accepting something about visibility, and my relationship with Tony couldn't have come at a better time.
Comedy stock market.
Thank you, Bert Reynolds. Comedy stock market every Friday. What we do is we take a look at where the value is. So we're not saying someone's good. We're not saying someone's bad. We're looking at where the value is, like a stock. Like, there was a time where you probably wish you had bought Bitcoin, and now there's a time you wish you had sold your Bitcoin, like that, but different. Peloton, that's another example. That kind of thing. So where is the value in comedy? Before I get into the stock picks per se, I've been wondering all week if you guys think I'm in a mood. I'm actually in a great mood, but I do feel like I've been a little punchy this week, and it's coming out on the air, as they say. I don't know. Feeling my oats, being a little uncensored. On the Substack, I took a shot at Travis Kelce. That was a smart thing to do. The Substack is my free newsletter about the media. You'll find that in the show notes. All right, comedy stock market. I got some sells this week. We're going to sell. All right, first one we're going to sell is Chris Fleming. John, you've been all about Chris Fleming. I know, but this is about value, my friends. I'm still all about Chris Fleming, but listen to me. Hear me out, okay? Stay with me here. Love Chris Fleming. Chris Fleming's hilarious, but it was cool when it was weird. Now, Chris Fleming is establishment. Chris Fleming is being profiled about his fashion in the New York Times. That's not cool anymore. Now that's whatever the opposite of cool is. It's like when you go, when you went to see your favorite band in the Village, it was cool. And then one day they're playing the football stadium in New Jersey. It's not as cool. So we can love him, but it's time to sell Chris Fleming while the value's high, while the casuals are reading about his purple print suits in the New York Times. We got to sell our Chris Fleming. Cash out. We did good money this last month, but that's the comedy stock market. Again, we love Chris Fleming, but we've peak value. Cash out. Sell your Chris Fleming. Got another sell for you. Bert Kreischer. Now here's why. I study this stuff. I read the tea leaves. I see which way people are trending. Here's what you probably don't know. On opening day, when baseball is on Netflix, you know who they're going to have on their coverage? Bert Kreischer. I understand why Netflix likes that idea. I understand totally why Bert Kreischer likes that idea. I think there's a version of Bert Kreischer that would be very happy just being Pat McAfee. But all that adds up to me thinking people are going to tune in to watch the baseball game and finding Bert Kreischer really annoying. I just feel like Bert, every now and then I feel like a comedian needs to just disappear for a while. And I feel like Bert needs to just disappear for a while. It's a little too much, Bert. Love you, but it's a little too much. So we're going to sell our Bert Kreischer. All right, Johnny Mac, you're so negative. Don't you want us to buy anything? Yes. Let's buy even more Pete Holmes because I actually paid the $10 to watch the special and talk to Pete Holmes 3 weeks ago, and I forgot that everybody else is waiting for the YouTube drop, which is on Tuesday, the 24th, which means we're probably going to see more Pete Holmes press, and then people are going to be like, wow, I really like Pete Holmes, and they're going to remember how much we all love Pete Holmes, and Pete Holmes is fantastic, and please listen to the interview on this program. I guess it's 2 Saturdays ago at this point, maybe 3, but, the episode's titled Pete Holmes. You'll find it. So I feel like people are going to be like, oh, yeah, Pete Holmes, love him. So let's buy some Pete Holmes. Let's buy some Mark Normand. I saw Dylan in the Facebook group has that special as his number 1, if I read correctly really quickly. So, yeah, we'll buy some Mark Normand. And let's buy some SNL UK. I feel like they're going to nail it. We'll know in 48 hours. All right, so that's the Rex this week. Sell Chris Fleming, sell Bert Kreischer, buy SNL UK, buy Mark Normand, buy Pete Holmes. That's your comedy stock market. Caroll Leifer is sticking up for dogs. Here's what happened. The American Kennel Club announced the most popular dog breeds of 2025, which put French bulldogs at number 1 for the 4th year in a row. Here's the issue. Caroll doesn't like that the American Kennel Club is promoting a breathing-impaired breed. She did a few videos for PETA. In one of them, Caroll Leifer is dressed up as your 2-pack-a-day Aunt Doris in a bright red wig and tropical muumuu, and Aunt Doris struggles to breathe as she blows up a busted air mattress to mimic the painful labored breathing of a flat-faced dog. Leifer explains, as vets have described it, every breath these dogs take, it's like breathing through a small straw. She also did a more serious PSA to talk about what they're calling the torture breeding industry that intentionally breeds dogs to have extreme features such as flattened snouts distort airways, shorten lives, and cause the dogs to pant, snort, wheeze, and struggle for air. Leifer explains, every French bulldog photo on Instagram should come with a disclaimer, warning, may cause lifelong vet bills. Breeders cash in on the look, and the dogs and their guardians pay for it, literally. Many countries, including Austria, Germany, the Netherlands, and Norway, have banned or restricted the breeding of some or all breathing-impaired breeds. It's still legal in the U.S. Caroll Leifer says, as long as there's money to be made selling, showing, and breeding dogs, breeders will continue to produce more, regardless of how much they cause dogs to suffer in the process. Johnny Mac agrees. Adopt, don't shop. Right now at the shelter right by your house, there's an awesome dog. I've got 2 shelter dogs upstairs, and they're fantastic. I've had shelter dogs for every day of my life since 1981. And that is your comedy news for today. Normal episodes on the weekend. I had pre-taped them in advance. I had to accommodate some travel today. But we'll get into, among other things, Jay Leno's Mount Rushmore of comedy, all right? You're enticed, right? That's worth listening to. So, normal episodes all weekend. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll meet you back here tomorrow.